Imagine waking up tomorrow morning, grabbing your phone, and realizing that while you were dead asleep, you made 2,500 bucks. You didn't commute, you didn't sit through a single mind-numbing meeting, you literally didn't even get out of bed. But your money? It just kept growing. Now picture a totally different scenario. A guy wakes up at 6 a.m., fights through grueling gridlock, and grinds out a 10-hour shift. But the absolute second he clocks out, his income flatlines. These are two completely different realities. Welcome to this explainer, where we're going to unpack the hidden rules of wealth based on some incredibly eye-opening source material. So let's dive right in and figure out exactly what separates these two lives. So the multi-million-dollar question we have to ask ourselves right off the bat is why? Is that first person just insanely lucky? Did they inherit some massive trust fund? Or is there something fundamental they get that most of us just never learn? Well, the truth is actually staring us right in the face. The wealthy do not stay rich simply because they pull in a massive salary or catch a lucky break. They stay rich because their money works way harder than they do. You see, most people spend their entire lives working for money, but the wealthy spend their lives making their money work for them. And honestly, that one single shift in behavior, it's a complete game changer.
The sources we're looking at highlight this incredible core philosophy. Income creates wealth only once. Assets create wealth forever. Earning money and actually managing money are two completely different skill sets. It's kind of like holding a bucket full of water. If your bucket has holes in the bottom, it really doesn't matter how much water you pour in, right? Eventually, the whole thing is going to leak out. Well, money works the exact same way. Without the right habits, millions of dollars will just quietly leak out of your life. The rich focus entirely on owning things, businesses, real estate investments, things that keep filling that bucket long after the initial hard work is done. Which brings us to Section 1. Income versus assets, and the great wealth divide. Picture two brothers. They graduate from the exact same university, and both land jobs making 80 grand a year. At first glance, their financial lives look identical. They get a paycheck, pay the rent, and save a little bit. But fast forward 10 years, and something crazy happens. The first brother is still anxiously counting down the days until payday. He spent a whole decade building active income, meaning if he loses that job tomorrow, his cash flow drops to zero. Instantly. The second brother, though, he rarely even thinks about payday. He spent those same 10 years building assets. So even if he takes a month-long vacation to Bali, his passive income just keeps rolling right into his bank account. We're taught that a high salary makes you rich, but a salary only exists while you're actually working. True financial freedom only kicks in when your money earns money for you, completely independent of your daily grind. So what is an asset? It can be defined incredibly simply. It isn't just something you own, it's something that actively puts money into your pocket or grows in value over time. Think about it like planting an apple tree. Buying apples at the grocery store is easy, but planting a tree? That takes time, patience, and care. For a while, it totally looks like you're doing all this heavy lifting for absolutely no reward, but once that tree matures, it just hands you fruit year after year. Assets are exactly the same. You build them or buy them once, and they just keep rewarding you. Moving on to Section 2. Engines of true wealth, and exactly what the rich are buying. If assets are the ultimate foundation of freedom, what exact wealth engines are the rich actually buying? Let's say two people are handed 100 grand and they both really want a luxury car. The first person takes that cash, or worse, takes out a massive loan against their salary and just buys the car outright. Boom, they are now officially owned by that monthly payment. The second person, who's operating with a wealth mindset, takes that exact same 100 grand and buys an income-producing asset first. Then they use the passive income generated by that asset to cover the car payment. They're both driving the exact same luxury car, but financially, they're living in totally different universes. The rich buy assets first, and then let those assets pay for their lifestyle liabilities. And that brings us to what's arguably the most dangerous number in all of personal finance, the number 1. Relying on just one single asset, or worse, one single paycheck, is a massive, massive financial risk. Think of your financial life like a table. Would you ever confidently set your laptop on a table with only one leg? Of course not. If that one leg snaps, say you lose your job, or your entire industry shifts overnight, the whole table just comes crashing down. To fix that incredibly wobbly one-legged table, wealthy people intentionally build multiple streams of wealth. They usually start with earned income from a standard job, sure, but they quickly branch out. They add investment income from stocks and index funds. Down the line, they might add rental income from real estate, some business income, or even royalty and digital income from things like online courses or books.
The reality is, most millionaires don't strike it rich off one giant lottery-sized payday. They become wealthy by combining several average income streams together to create this powerful, unstoppable river of cash flow. If one stream temporarily dries up, it doesn't matter, because the river just keeps right on flowing.
Let's look at Section 3, Using Good Debt Safely and the Absolute Power of Leverage. There's this super common belief out there that all debt is inherently toxic. But there is a massive, game-changing difference between bad debt and good debt. Bad debt is borrowing money for a depreciating sports car or designer clothes, things that literally lose value the second you buy them, while you're stuck paying interest. Good debt, on the other hand, is strategically used to acquire an asset that generates income or appreciates over time. The rich don't look at a deal and ask, is there debt involved? They ask, is this debt going to make me richer or is it going to make me poorer? This whole concept of good debt ties directly into the principle of leverage. Leverage is simply using resources beyond your own money or your own time to multiply your opportunities. Imagine trying to push a massive boulder up a hill with just your bare hands. It is not going anywhere. But if you wedge a long, sturdy metal lever under it, suddenly you can move a mountain. The wealthy use systems, technology, employees, and careful financing as their levers. They know they only have 24 hours in a day, just like the rest of us, so they use leverage to multiply the results far beyond what their own two hands could ever pull off. This brings us to Section 4, Mistakes that Keep You Poor, also known as the wealth drainers. Tools like leverage and income streams are great, but they don't build fortunes entirely on their own. Your habits do. So let's look at the invisible traps that quietly drain wealth from average earners over the course of decades. The sources call these the wealth drainers. First up is lifestyle inflation. This happens when you finally get a raise and instantly upgrade your apartment and your car. Your income went up, yeah, but your wealth didn't budge. Then there's waiting for the perfect time. This paralyzes people. Time is literally your greatest wealth-building tool, and waiting around just squanders it. And we can't forget emotional decision-making. Look, the wealthy feel fear and greed just like the rest of us, especially during crazy market crashes. But they absolutely refuse to let those fleeting emotions dictate their financial decisions. They lean on logic and long-term planning instead.
This is exactly why the sources point out an incredibly powerful concept. Looking wealthy and actually being wealthy are completely different things. Some of the wealthiest millionaires drive incredibly ordinary 10-year-old cars and live well below their means. Why? Because they prioritize long-term financial freedom over immediate social status. Honestly, buying things just to look rich is a surefire way to ensure that you stay poor, simply because it drains the exact capital you need to actually become rich. Let's wrap it up with Section 5, your wealth building roadmap, a step-by-step plan. So if you are starting from absolute zero today, no rich family, no massive bank account, how do we actually apply all of this? Phase 1 is all about building the foundation. Step 1, master your income by investing in your own skills. The more valuable your skills become, things like communication, tech, or leadership, the more your baseline income can grow. Step 2, spend less than you earn. I know it sounds painfully simple, but it is the absolute bedrock of every fortune. And step 3, build an emergency fund. Life is absolutely going to throw some wild surprises at you. An emergency fund gives you peace of mind so you don't end up making desperate, emotionally driven financial decisions when your car suddenly breaks down or a massive medical bill hits your mailbox.
Okay, once your foundation is rock solid, you move right into Phase 2, the execution. Step 4 tells us to start investing early. Do not wait until you finally feel ready because, trust me, that day never comes. You want to utilize the magic of compound growth immediately. Step 5, buy assets before luxury. When you get that end-of-year bonus, buy an asset first and let the income from that asset buy your fun toys later. And finally, Step 6, build those multiple streams. Start small, maybe launch a little side hustle or grab some dividend stocks, and just slowly build out that powerful, diversified river of income we talked about earlier.
But listen, here is the ultimate secret ingredient that holds this entire roadmap together. Consistency beats intensity. Wealth doesn't just explode overnight like a firework. It grows quietly, slowly, kind of like a forest. Think about it. If you go to the gym for 10 straight hours on a Sunday, you're not going to get fit, you're just going to get injured. But if you go for just 30 minutes every single day for a year, your entire life changes. Money is exactly the same. True financial freedom is built on thousands of ordinary, disciplined decisions made consistently over years and decades.
We're going to leave you with this final provocative thought to wrap up our explainer today. If your income totally stopped tomorrow, how long could your assets actually support your lifestyle? Your honest answer to that question reveals far more about your true financial health than your job title or your salary ever could. True wealth isn't about the appearance of success. It's about building a life where your money acts as your tireless servant, finally granting you the ultimate freedom to live life exactly on your own terms.